Former Senate President Adolphus Wabara condemned the life imprisonment verdict as unjust. In his view, it was, quote, not Kanu alone, but the entire Igbo race that they have imprisoned for life, end quote. He said he was shocked that while a Boko Haram leader was sentenced to just 5 years in prison 24 years earlier, Kanu, a non-violent activist, received a life sentence. Well, for analysis on the conviction and sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment for terrorism, I am joined by Wayne Elijah, a human rights lawyer. Glad to have you join us on Arise Newsnight, Wayne.
Thank you for having me.
What stood out for you during the court proceedings and the eventual sentencing? I'm sure you did listen.
Of course.
Good.
And honestly speaking, it is extremely a sad day for those that want the unity of this country called Nigeria. This is a very sad day because it's a day where a person sitting as the head of the executive, calling himself Mr. President, had all the opportunity to heal the nation by just making a statement to that effect. I could not believe that 44 House of Rep members signed a letter to Mr. President asking him to intervene in the issue, and Mr. President turned a deaf ear to such an appeal. Honestly speaking, it is a very, very sad day. It is a day that all Nigerians, not just the Igbos alone, the Yorubas, the Hausas, and even the minor ethnic groups should come together and weep for the nation. Because what just happened has clearly shown, without any iota of doubt, that there is selective justice in our country.
When you call Mr. President, this is a matter that has to do with law and the courts. He is the president of Nigeria. He doesn't have anything to do with the courts, but that's by the way. How will this judgment rub off on the polity, especially the proscribed IPOB, proscribed of course, and the people of the Southeast?
First of all, I want to address the issue of you saying Mr. President has nothing to do with law. That's very wrong. It
doesn't have anything to do with the courts.
With the court, it's very wrong because by virtue of section 175 of the 1999 Constitution, and it was not put there foolishly, it was put there deliberately, the president has a power to, without even going through the Attorney General of Federation, to stop any proceedings at all that is being prosecuted by the executive arm of government. Mr. President, by virtue of Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution,
I think you should tone
has the executive powers of government to ensure that all the executive functions are being exercised by persons he appoints.
Fine, but he can't begin. You wouldn't want the president to begin to influence a judgment of court or a judge in a law court. You have, hold on, you have the executive, you have the judiciary, and then you have the legislature. These are three arms of government, separate by themselves in a democracy.
Of course.
So the president is not expected to be influencing court judgments.
No, I think you didn't get me right. I did not say Mr. President will influence the court judgments. That's not what I'm saying. By virtue of Section 4, the legislative arm of government has been established. By virtue of Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution, the executive arm of government has also been established, which is headed by Mr. President for the Federation and by the governor for his state. Then for the judicial arm of government, the chief judge of the state or the chief justice of Nigeria for the Federation has been appointed to head those arm of government. I'm talking about the powers of the Nigerian Constitution. Under Section 174, the Attorney General of Federation can actually appear and discontinue a case. That's called a nulli prosecute. But Mr. President, even without even telling his Attorney General in Section 175, can actually go ahead and discontinue the case because it is the executive arm of government that is prosecuting this case.
I've made the point here, and it's very clear. You wouldn't want a president in a democracy to be influencing a judgment in the courts. But that's, by the way, like I said, How will this judgment rub off on the polity, especially the proscribed IPOB and the people of the Southeast?
Now, as it is, you just played a clip of the hometown of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You can see how deserted their places. I am not a security operative. I couldn't actually give a strategic analysis, but looking at the antecedents of how this unlawful detention that has been, on for a very long time, and even when he was kidnapped and brought back to Nigeria, all of this has shown that it does not in any way throw positive light to the political sphere in Eastern Nigeria. Now, I want to beg to differ on the statement you made that the IPOB is proscribed.
It's proscribed?
Yes, hold on. By a court of law, it has been declared that way. However, that judgment has been appealed against, and there is also a stay of execution on that judgment. Where there is a pending appeal and also an application for stay of execution, you cannot say you are entirely correct, and I cannot also say I'm entirely correct. IPOB as it is not even just a Nigerian organization. It is also a registered international organization.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Wayne Elijah, a human rights lawyer, like I said, proscribed. Thank you for being on the program. Thank you for being on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.